Oh, now I'm live.
Oh, you're live.
Okay, bless the high, oh my soul,
That's a high one also.
and all this with me.
That's not a covenant.
Bless his holy set apart name. In this we shall be confident.
Actually, covenant.
Bless the high, oh my soul.
I have also.
Bless the high, oh my soul. Is he asleep?
Yeah.
Oh, she out. She was just up with. That's okay. She got up earlier now. And she normally would. Grand Risings family. I'm happy set apart day. And grand risings to you all. We have a wonderful lesson High blessed us with that we were just reading out of Deuteronomy 4. And I saw something. I said, wow, we got to share this with the family, y'all. So here we are, family. Live, thanking the Father for this week. He has helped me and my children get through. It has been a very hectic, strategic week, but I be magnified in it all. We are officially out of the place we were at, and the Most High turned Brian's heart around, and you know how he does, because the Most High is with us all along, right? All things work together for the good of those who love the Most High and are called according to his purpose, Romans 8:28. And so he definitely gave us our security deposit full and the rent, okay? And he was just in great spirits. There were some things that were damaged that, like from door stoppers not being on, he didn't even like act funny about. My husband's weight system was left in there. I couldn't get out. He was nice to give me the key and said you can come back on Sunday and get it. He knows I keep the set apart days rest. So you're blocking my light a little bit. Is it me or?
I need this like clamp.
Oh, you need a clamper for that? Oh, there's a hair tie in the little basket. Use that, son. So we not only, I'm grateful because it's not about where we are. It's about where we are within him and the Most High within us. And I have a peace. I didn't think I could get it done. It was kind of last minute because there was so much depression and things happening with the household and within a whole that I wasn't able to make the moves that I needed to. And when the Most High told me back in I'd say October to back and have faith, I was weary. I was fearful. And I was like, no, it was just so much going on. But praise the Father, though, through his hand and his power and his strength and his might, we are out. I was like, Father, we got to do this before 7 because I want my day of rest. Y'all, I wasn't able to get into the storage and get my frankincense and myrrh. In my fanny pack, I had 2 little small ones. And so I lit my first one yesterday just to come in, and I lit another one today. So I'm grateful, y'all. Today, the reason why I titled the lesson are Great Nations, because I want to show y'all not only I just uploaded a short video of I don't remember the name of the title of it. What is it? I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do it live. Since I'm here with you, I'm going to break it down live. It's Happy Set Apart Day. That's what it's called. It's Happy Set Apart Day. All right. So I'm going to start off with Deuteronomy 4. I think it's a good idea for us when we are entering into the Father's rest to start off with the Deuteronomy 4 and 5. Always read the law. It's important that we read the law on this day, okay? As even Yeshua did when he said he was in the temple and he read the word. Yeah, he read the law. All right. So I read this with the children because what I found was interesting is that he said, if you observe to do all these things. So observe means I don't care how redundant or how repetitive it may seem, faith cometh by hearing and hearing the word of the Most High. And especially when we're raising our children, the more we read over the law, I kid you not, the Holy Spirit will give you more in-depth, new revelation and understanding when we're reading the Torah. All right. As some will call the 10 Commandments, but we know it doesn't say anywhere how many are there. We know all word that the Most High give us command. Grand rising and happy set apart Shabbat. Shalom, sister Sarah Wallace. Just when you're going on your channel, say shalom and you can't. Yeah, see there? What you using that cup for? Oh, fruit cup?
Yeah, Mom, he gives us commands sometimes.
That's right, Zion. Go ahead, break that down. Share with the family what you want to say.
So I can't number it.
What? Say it again?
Yeah, he gives us commands every day, so we can't number it.
He gives us commands every day so that we cannot number them. People say 613. Some people say 10. Guess what? Everything he tells us is a command. That's right. Bless that cup and name your shot. So be it. Okay, now therefore hearken, O Jacob, unto the statutes and unto the judgments which I teach you, for to do them, that ye may live and possess the land which Ahiah your husbandman of your fathers giveth you. Ye shall not the word which I command you, neither shall ye diminish aught from it, that ye may keep the commandments of Ahiah your husbandman, which I command you.
They are not grievous.
That's right. They are not grievous. Your eyes have seen what Ahiah did because of Baal Peor. For all the men that follow Baal, Ahiah your husbandman, have destroyed them from among you. But ye that did cleave unto Ahiah your husbandman are alive, every one of you this day. So in literal word, back in the wilderness, those who was not who might have came into the wilderness, but in their hearts and their minds, they were still having a taste or desire to follow after the deities in the land of Egypt. The Most High destroyed them, make sure they wasn't going to go too far. All right. So even here, it's saying, all that are here this day, as we're reading this, those that are looking to keep the word and the commandments, though our family members breathe and they walk and talk and all this and the third, they're dead. Good job. Okay. But ye that, okay, verse 5. Zebediah. But behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as Ahiah your husbandman commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whether ye go to possess it. Here we go, y'all. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom. Stop right there. He said, keep and do them. So keep what? What are we talking about? Statutes and judgments of the Most High, his commandments. He said, this is your wisdom. Who is the living word? Yeshua. He is the living word. So if the wisdom, this is what I'm trying to tell you. What's amazing to me is that before I really zoomed in on this, I always knew, I was like, wisdom can't be a she, because the wisdom of the Most High is okay. It says, we know in the scriptures, it says wisdom uttereth her voice in the streets. And I feel that some people may not esteem it as wisdom being a her. They're saying in an allegory form. But if we're not careful and we are constantly reading that, it's like a mind twisting game for us. Some people who are unlearned, or some that are maybe babes, could perceive that to be as a she, because we have doctrines out here that deem our holy language as having feminine and masculine, when the Son and the Father are one. That's one. And for two, the word of the Most High, it is nurturing and to us, because the wisdom of the Most High is our milk. That's why he said, desire the sincere milk as a babe. Now go ahead, Zion. What you want to share?
And, everything's like a male. Like
The Father and everything concerning his word is masculine.
Yeah.
The Father is able to give us attributes of what people would deem to be feminine before, because he said, male and female, he made he them. He made the male and the female. He created these things. So he has of course, he has the capability to show nature. I mean, think about it. He's all great and mighty, but when he speaks to us, he speaks in a soft tone.
Like a man.
Yes, he does. So, but the softness in his tone is as nurturing as you're going to get with him. You know, even like when you do, now, was that right? Or should we have done that? Or should we have said that? Right? We don't want to get further to the point where it's like, who made the blind, the mute, and the deaf? Did I? Now go, Moses. You know, don't question me. When I tell you to do something, do it. So when I saw this, I got excited, because I'm like, here we go. I knew there were some receipts. There's got to be receipts in the word for us to help people understand that. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom. So what is our wisdom? Talking to the great nation, the nation of Jacob, Isaac and Abraham, okay? The children of the promise, the children of the book, not the Jewish people. I'm talking about the real people, all right? The melanated ones, okay? Known today as African Americans, Hispanics, Native Americans, okay? These people that are named by bywords, okay? Who have their identity taken from them, and they are the bottom amongst these nations and serving these other nations. Nations such as China, the Arab nations, Edom, you know, the Hamite nations, which as today are known for the African nations, all right? We are at the bottom right now due to our disobedience of our forefathers to the very things he's commanded us in this chapter to keep. All right. So it was death that came forth, and death comes by disobedience to the word. He said, keep therefore and do them, right? So let's read on. So this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this is a great nation. This great nation is a wise and understanding people. So you think about that. The only way these nations would have ever respect us was according to our obedience of our Father. He said to us, if you don't obey and keep my commandments, then you will be a reproach. They will walk by and shake their head and hiss at you. So, what do these nations want our people to do? They want our people to esteem in hip hop. They want our people to esteem in sports and their education systems and try to be like them where they have the advantage and they already know what is written of us. That is not our wisdom nor our understanding. Our wisdom, Zebediah, take it a little easy with the tone, baby. Our wisdom and understanding is of a higher, his word.
Can I have a Hershey bar? Oh, actually, no.
You going to be quiet?
Yeah.
I don't know where they at. Oh, they right there in the fridge. Here, come here. All right. Okay, behave now. Listen and take heed, you guys. All right. So instead of the nations looking at us and like, Dad, what's up with these two? They on the bottom. What they can't get right. Once we begin to, I'm telling you, haven't you seen it now? When you, daughters of Zion, begin to adorn yourself in modest apparel, head covered, okay, and carry yourself in certain demeanors, these other nations look at you like, what are you doing being right? In other words, what are you doing looking upright? We thought we did a good job calling you Toby, but you saying your name Kunta Kinte now. See there? That's the wisdom and understanding of the Most High's word. They got you now walking in the uprightness and the righteousness of our wisdom, which is given to us of our Father. Okay. For what nation is there so great who have a higher so nigh unto them as a higher your husbandman and all these things and all things that we call upon him for? What other nation? Adi Ahava Yasha. Welcome, beloved. Shalom to you. Exactly. Yes, exactly, beloved. And wait, I want to ask you: Are you a sister or a brother, so I can appropriately address you? Not that it really matters, but I might say sis or brother sometime, and I don't want to be rude. Just put it up there if you don't mind. Okay. And what nation is okay? I read that verse 9. Only take heed to thyself and keep thy soul diligently. So the wisdom and knowledge is not for us to be looking at them like, oh my gosh, like we're out and about. Look at them girls with them tights on, and it not to be a light like on top of them in an awkward, in an interrogation type of way, but a light unto them to be a glory, to give a higher glory. Okay, he said, if your ways please me, if I be lifted up, I draw all men unto me. So if a higher is lifted up in righteousness, okay, and decency and order, then they're going to see the good works and they're going to glorify the Most High. Rather than somebody on the side of them saying, you know, them people, they crazy. And somebody can say, no, that I never saw that with them, or no, that's wrong. Trust and believe me, you. There's going to be witnesses of the Gentiles who are going to be able to test for our righteousness. That's just the way the Most High has it. Okay, so he said, only take heed to thyself. In other words, take heed to yourselves. And I like to get a precept for that really quick, which is really good. Psalm 39. Okay, it's becoming like my new fully loaded. I have to keep this in mind. Perhaps I may slip. Psalm 39. I said, I will take heed to my ways, that I sin not with my tongue. I will keep my mouth with the bridle while the wicked is before me. So the wicked is before us right now. The nations are before us in the system of Babylon, in this kingdom. And it's not of this world. So taking heed to ourselves and also keeping our mouths, just being a outward, a testifier by your good works and your lifestyle, that alone can, it can reprove, rebuke, or help somebody repent. All right. Let's carry on. All right. Wait, did I skip something? I'll skip verse 8, y'all. Let's go back to verse 8. And what nation, y'all didn't finish it all. And what nation is there so great who have a higher so nigh unto them as a high our husbandman and all things we call him for? Oh, yeah, I did read it. Verse 8. And what nation is there so great that has statutes and judgments so righteous as all this Torah law, which I set before you this day? Yeah, we could not skip that. So think about it. What nation, even when I checked in here, y'all, this place was made, this place was reserved for us through the government on behalf of my husband. And so it ain't the best of qualities, but we're grateful and we're not going to complain. But you guys know a lot of these Indian people that own these places like this had a little Roma going on with himself and hush, hush. And I just let it be known. I said, listen, I don't want nobody knocking on my doors or this and the third for anything or no business with me. I'm going to be keeping this apart day. So I'd appreciate it. If sundown, I'm willing to, you know, if there's any questions or anything like that, feel free to knock at the door, but sundown, okay? In other words, I don't want no room service. Listen, if you were my servant, you would not be working. So don't serve me on this day. Okay? When I said that, he was like, let me tell you something. The women put their little coverings on, wear their little outfits, but does their way of life really make them a great people of them? Their stuff is a foolishness. It's just, remember, Islam is like a copycat of what we are. It's a copycat of the truth. There's only one truth, one baptism, okay, and one Most High. All the rest of them are dead. All right? Keep it moving. So I want to highlight that. That is beautiful. And let me read that again, all right? And listen, let's keep our tongues. I know it can be a bit hard. If you want to do the Bible game app and listen to them, you surely can do that. Keep yourselves occupied because I know your children. It's hard. Hey, wait, I don't have the Bible app on my phone. Zebediah, you want the Bible game thing? You got my the other phone, the old one?
Yeah.
Which one is it? That's enough chocolate. Put that back. That's enough. Thank you, Sophie. Zebediah, what did I say? That's enough. You done had 2 Hershey's. No, you're being disobedient. In the name of your you want chocolate milk? In the name of Yeshua, obedience. Zebediah, obey. No, I'm not playing with you. That's enough chocolate. Go sit down. Now listen here. If I could tell you again, you're going to be in timeout. It's going to be no phone privileges for you. You understand me? You're not listening. You're being hard-headed. What is one of the commandments, Zion? Tell your brother what commandment he's violating right now.
Despairing mother.
That's right. And how does Ahia feel? Is Ahia pleased with your behavior?
He's sad.
He said, no. You can have chocolate milk, but that's enough chocolate for now. No more chocolate candy.
Chocolate water.
That's about, I'm sorry, lady. I didn't see you there. You see that chocolate milk on the door? You can certainly have that.
No, it's actually made of water and milk.
That's all right. We're going to stand in the gap. Verse 8 again, family. Thank you for your patience. And what nation is there so great that has statutes and judgments so righteous? I like that. Righteous. What's the precept for the righteous? We're going to read it. Okay. Go over a page, or if it's on the same page for you, because mine's bigger. Deuteronomy chapter 6. We all should be familiar with this. Okay, verse 25. Here's Zebediah. Verse 25, which is, and it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before Ahia, our husbandman, he have commanded us. 2 things I want to make a notice of. 1, observe. When we observe something, it's a study, it's a transitioning and positioning our mind on. And secondly, it's what we the more we meditate and keep our mind on it, it becomes us. So when he said observe before him, he's saying don't do things for others, do it for him. He's the one watching after all. Okay. All right, observe. And another thing I wanted to make a mention. Verse 24 of Deuteronomy 6. And Ahia commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear Ahia, our husbandman, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive as it is this day. So guess what? He'll preserve you. Let me tell y'all something. One time when we was at the old place before we actually moved out and things was getting hard for food and all that kind of stuff. Well, things wasn't getting hard. It was just had to start making some moves. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't able to get to the store. Father knew that. So I had a gallon of milk that was dated for October 17th. I kid you not, when it came down, October 7th. It was like down into the 20s and stuff, and that milk was still good. It wasn't like smelling bad or nothing. Now,
it's not bad, but it just tastes a little.
See, that was Zion's opinion, because he saw that date and he was like, Mom, before you.
I can't read, Mom. And you know that.
You saw that date. You said, Mom, this is a 7.
No, I didn't.
All right.
I can't really read, Mom. It's not that good.
Okay. Well, listen, all I want to tell you is you ain't going to take this miracle story from me, honey. It's my testimony right here, okay? All right. So anyhow, I looked at that milk, y'all, and I was like, because when Zion said, Mom, this something don't taste right, I did sniff, and I was like, to see what was the matter with it, right? But the Father told me preserved. He let me know, I see that you can't get to the store. I see you didn't have no vehicle for some time. And so he allowed things in my refrigerator to stay. Even like stuff from before at the Shabbat. Because I'm going to tell you about me. I said this before. If ever I cook and it's been like hard cooking and cleaning and doing all this stuff, and then come the end of the night when sundown on the preparation day, and before I put my stuff in the fridge, I like to let it cool down before I put it in the fridge. Sometimes I'll fall asleep and don't get up to do it. I say within my spirit through faith, even if I can't put this away, I know if he kept our food in the wilderness, he will keep my food here. Refrigerators don't really preserve and keep. It's the Most High that preserves and keeps the things. After all, we're talking about preserving us. So if we're not preserved, but our food is, what good my point was, check this out. Fearing the Most High and observing and doing his commandments and keeping them is like your insurance plan and your automatic. It's counted as righteousness unto us. And these other nations don't have that. So are they preserved?
Nope.
No. What are they preserved for, Zion?
Yeah.
There we go. All right. So let's go over to the next channel page. Back to Deuteronomy 4. All right. So let's go back to verse 9. Only take heed to yourself and keep your soul diligently, lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, and lest they depart from thine heart all the days of thy life. Teach them thy sons and thy sons' sons. Don't let. Okay, and when we talk about bread, okay, which is the word Most High is the living bread, okay? He's on the bread of life. We're not supposed to let this bread just sit around. We're supposed to desire and be hungry for bread like, never before. Zion, would you mind sharing some good word with the family while I use the restroom? Really? Just let the Most High use you. Sit here and go ahead and just let the Spirit move, son. Show them what time it is.
Okay.
Some greetings and salutations to the family, and just share your what you were grateful for this Sabbath. I mean, what you're grateful for that the Most High helped you get through this week, and things that just tell them what you're thankful for and stuff like that. And how it was, what you learned from this experience or whatever.
Okay. So, Mom,
Yeah.
are you still reading this?
Yes, son.
Okay.
Keep my place there.
Reba,
Just tell them what you're grateful for, Zion.
I'm grateful for having a house. And what else, Mom?
Huh?
I tell you what I'm grateful for and stuff like that.
Okay. Zebediah, what you grateful for?
I'm grateful when we moved. And Robert's going to stay here all night.
Okay.
We never picking up.
All right. Praise the highest. So we're not going to be vexed by no wicked spirits, huh?
Nope.
That's right. We safe and sound?
Yep.
You want to share with the family Psalm 23, Zebediah?
Yeah.
Go ahead and tell them Psalm 23. To the best of your ability. I love how he does it. It's so cute. It is so cute. Go ahead, Zebediah. Read Psalm 23 to the family. Go ahead. Say Psalm 23.
What is it?
Just say it. Come on, let's do it together, all right? Ahai is our shepherd.
How's your shepherd?
You lead and I'll follow.
I'll follow.
No, you say and I'll follow you. You started off like when we be praying. When we be praying, and you start doing.
Color.
Come on, you want to do it with brother?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. 2, 1. Ahai is our shepherd. We shall not want.
He lay down green pastures.
He make us lie down in green pastures.
Ding dong, ding dong.
Come on, let's take it serious. You can't, if you know how he says it, so come on.
Just say ding dong.
He is down in green pastures. He lead us beside.
And he says still water.
Still waters.
And he passes righteousness.
Okay, leads in the path of righteousness.
And he passes righteousness.
For whose name's sake?
For his sake.
Come on. Okay. You want to say some more? What you remember? In the path of righteousness. For his name's sake. All right, we walk through the valley of shadow of death. For who's with us?
And he pushed.
Oh, all right. Somebody gotta use the restroom. Well, there we have that, family. Okay, we back. Oh, I got zebra shoes on. Put my shoes on. Let her be, Zeb. Get that paper towels on. She's got. She gonna make a mess with that. Turn it. Get that from lady. All right, back to verse 9, family. Thank you for your patience. Okay. Only take heed to yourself and keep your soul diligent. Services in the name of Yeshua.
So we got Lula.
Father, we pray that. Okay, thank you, I. So we're not supposed to be taking thoughts for our livelihood. We're only supposed to be responsible for our soul. Right? Please understand me, so I'm moving and flowing. All right. Is you keep your soul diligently, which means you got to be diligent in his word to keep your soul. And that makes all the sense. Lest thou forget. Okay, I read it. Verse 10. Especially the day that thou stoodest before Ahiah, thy husbandman, and Horeb, when Ahiah said unto me, gather me the people together. Now, I want to say something about when he said the people. At that time, the reason why we call the people is because we were not unto him yet. It's like you say, gather the bride. You're not called wife until you were actually wedded. So when he said, surely this people to Moses, he was but he went through it all to call us unto himself. So I thank him for choosing us, loving us, and even when we sinned against him, did not throw us away. Showed us the true meaning of love. Okay, gather me the people together, and I will make them hear my words, that they may learn to fear me all the days that they shall live upon the earth, and that they may teach their children. Maketh me to lie down in green pastures, lead me beside the still waters. He has to sometimes make us. Let me tell you something. Through this whole week, man, there were people who I wasn't surprised, who perceived to act like they wanted to help, but really wanted to see my downfall. And it began to be like a down. It became to be like a mental block. But I had a dream that there was a hammock in a tree. And I was saying to the neighbors, look, y'all, there's a hammock in a tree. It's impossible to get that hammock up there like that. How can anybody get up there? And through the understanding of the spirit, he let it be known your rest is going to come from above. You just keep looking up. It's going to look like it's impossible, but it will be done. And there was another dream I had the Father showed me. When it was time to leave that place, people throwing bricks. I mean, not bricks, throwing stones at me, at my truck. And I'm like, what in the world? I was shocked. What is this all about? Why are people throwing stones at me? Then some lady came out of the house, Caucasian woman, Edomite. Come on and fight me. Come on. I'm looking at in the dream, I was like, I do not feel like doing all this with you. Now, let me tell you something. To be a fighter like I was, you done?
You a big trash her.
Yeah, stay in spirit. I was just like, She actually handed me a brick. Okay, and said, here, use this to fight me with. Now, what in real world, what people hand you a brick to fight them with? I took that brick and put it to the side. And for some reason, next thing I know, my foot was on her throat. And I took the brick and then I put it in her mouth. The first vision I had about the house we're going to get is brick, y'all. Hold on. Hold on. Yes, let me get little Zebediah to be care of. I am so thankful for being alive. Today is a good day. He opened my eyes.
Lady, get out of here, please.
Yeah, I woke up today. Yeah, she can't be snooping around up in here.
She smells it.
Come on, stand up, Zebby. I got you. Wait.
I'm trying to get out of here.
For being alive.
Baby, what you thinking for? Yeah.
Don't trip. I
What you
just hit a bump in the road. Under control. That's right. I woke up today. So many cancers.
What is this smell? Don't smell. Don't smell.
Stay out the trash, lady. Be a lady now. You ain't pick up no hood dress. You ain't doing hood dress. Be a lady.
Oh, she's cute.
Yes, there is. All right. Thank you, family, for the patience again. And so, yeah, bottom line, the dreams, I'm gonna tell you something. The way the Most High began to communicate with me through this process, starting to get like different. And he let me know that when in the fire, I will be with you through the river and all that. I'm gonna be with you. I'm gonna be with you. He showed himself to me in ways I can't. Oh, Father, so good. And so I thank him for it because this rising, he gave me Psalm 68. And when you read Psalm 68, it says, "You have made me a strife amongst my neighbors." And before I left, there was the elderly ladies who put a note on the door and said, "We're really going to miss you," to the family. And it's really sad that you have to go. We just want to know if everything's going to be all right. And I said to them, I left a voicemail. I said, when I was out there rebuking, the one old lady opened her door and was like, "What's going on?" I said, "Listen, man, I'm doing as it is. I'm doing as I'm called, and I have to do this for my Father." But sometimes, family, things that we do for the Father may not be comfortable and may look like, oh man, you can already see where it's going to put you. And but what I am not afraid to do is I'm not afraid or ashamed to allow you all to see the journey that the High is taking with me and my family for the glory of him, and also for a testimony and a witness of what he can bring us through and be with us on. There's nothing greater than the Most High.
Nothing.
It may sound funny, but this little room, I feel relieved. It's like a peace of mind.
I like it.
Because I'm not around those spirits and those people who were throwing stones at me. I'm talking about I didn't have to be around them, but it's like the Most High would give me their voices like, shh. I would hear what they were saying in spirit. I would feel what they were doing behind my back. But hey, to high be the glory, all things are working together for the good. I've even had an eviction process at the beginning to start, but the Most High gave us a victory on that. It was like they thought she ain't gonna be able to get that stuff out of the house with that man leaving her. But look, Ahia is my husband, man, and that's why Psalm 68 says he is the judge of the fatherless and the widow. So for my sisters and brothers out there, I'm telling you, if your man left you, or you're going through, your woman ain't acting right, your children giving you a hard time, you continue to be diligent. You continue to keep your eyes on his word, and you watch and see what he'll do for you. Y'all see where we at. And it's gonna be like, oh, it's just that. It ain't no alls and say.
Nope.
It's a peace of mind. And secondly, he told us we are in a position for a blessing. My spirit was vexed. Smelled like cigarette in here.
Oh, I thought like doing it.
Smokers.
Yes, my
And I said, Father. Got mad. I had dropped myself. I said, I'm putting everything back in my truck. And I was like, I'm going somewhere else. But I said, you know what? This has been paid for me. I don't know how many days they reserved me. I don't know how long I'm going to be in this situation. Let me get my spirit right. I'll go to the store, buy some candles. Don't play with that song. And just, and just go through this. And I took my anointing oil, anointed the door, anointed my stuff. Like, trust me. And I said, Father, by faith, you are with me, right? And look where we are today. Was reading just with the children and getting a beautiful word. Getting a beautiful word. Okay. Verse 11 of Deuteronomy 4. And ye came near and stood under the mountain, and the mountain burned with fire unto the midst of heaven, with darkness, clouds, and thick darkness. Imagine this. Close your eyes. It's the kind of dark outside where it could be like, really dark. Probably like that purplish, like pink, but it's like dark. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Sun beginning to set, and you're seeing the fire come out the volcano, the mountain going up to heaven as he is giving us these commandments. I told my family this. If he would speak these commandments in this manner, shouldn't we understand how serious he was about it? Shouldn't we keep it in mind how important it is to the Most High for us to see his attitude towards it? This was the reason for the fire and all this. You should be like, he is not playing.
But they did it anyway. I don't know how.
Let's take heed to ourselves. That's why he said, take heed to yourself. Rather than us looking like, how can they do that? We got to say, you know what? Father, I thank you for their fall so that I'm able to learn from their lesson rather than myself be judged according to their fall without my knowing, because it's an ignorant son. We could be ignorant by putting our mouths on our ancestors and stuff like that. Silence. All right. I will make them hear my word. Okay, right there. Yep. Verse 12. And Ahiah spake unto you out of the midst of the fire. Ye heard the voice of the words, but saw no similar. You heard my voice, but saw no image similar to being type thing that you could think he was going to sound and try to make. Because before we get to that point, I got a commandment for you to tell you don't do that. Only ye heard a voice. Even now. Yeah, he don't mind showing up in other ways for us, you know, like you driving down the street and you see a bumper sticker that starts speaking to you about something. You, okay, Father, or a song, somebody call you or whatever like that. He can use things to minister to us. But at the official time he gave us these commandments, the reason why he gave it in such magnitude was for us to understand the depth of the seriousness behind these commandments. So if you see the fire when he's first speaking it and you ain't being mean, and he declare unto you his covenant, which he commanded you to perform. So that means people think a covenant is just to believe, it's all based in faith. And this is where the Christians. Okay.
Mom, that pillar play Papa by our truck.
Well, guess what? I got angels by a truck. And if it touches, they touch it, it's going to go off. Stay inside, son. Stay in here and listen to the word. And he declared unto you his covenant, which he commanded you to perform, which means he commanded you to apply some works to his covenant. Ain't nobody going to think he did. Look at lady behind the daggone thing. Get lady from back there. She's trying to get in that trash. Lady. Bottom line. You're supposed to perform the feast days. Practice the righteous acts. No, people like, man, we got a growing count. Guess what? He sought to change the season and times according to his feasting days. Rather than us keeping Purim, they hollering about some Christmas. Rather than us keeping tabernacles, they hollering about some Thanksgiving and Halloween. Rather than keeping Passover, they talking about some Easter. You see, that's what the enemy did concerning the seasons and the times. Because the Father has his times, which is his feast days, in their seasons. So the copycat who said, I will be like unto him, exalt his throne, try to exalt his throne above, which is really of beneath, because this kingdom is beneath the Most High. He said, the earth is my footstool. Come on. You ain't exalting nothing, enemy. You can't. Okay. Even 10 commandments, and he wrote them onto the 2 tables of stone. Now, honestly, it says 10 here, but like I was saying earlier, we don't just stop now. These 10, do we not have dietary laws, ceremonial laws, civil laws, dress code laws? All right.
Hair laws.
What's that, Zion?
Hair laws like
Oh, come even hair laws. Most High says men should mar their hair at a certain length. Okay. Good job, Zion. And Ahiah commanded me at that time to teach you statutes and judgments. This is Moses speaking. That he might do them in the land whether ye go over to possess it. Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for ye saw no manner of similitude on that day. Why in the world did he say take good heed? You ain't see no similitude that day. What religion around this world is always using similitude? Christianity. I'm telling y'all, Deuteronomy 4 is giving us some meat right now. Or this is some sweet, sweet milk. Okay? I'm going to highlight that. He said, take good heed to yourself. In other words, pay attention. You ain't see nothing in that smoke now, did you? No. Did you? No. But you heard a voice. Yeah. He speaks to you now, right? Mm-hmm. What did he give you? His word. Okay. You want to see and know what he's like? Read his word. You don't need no painting. You don't need no picture, no docile man with a nice Victoria's Secret gown on and his hand on his heart over here, like he about to do a pledge of allegiance.
Get that out of here.
That's right. Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for ye saw no manner of similitude on that day that Ahiah spake unto you in Horeb out of the midst of the fire. See there? Wow. Make you a graven image, the similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female. Oh, come on, Father. I can't get off the move right now, son. Stand by, and I need you to be quiet. But go ahead. I'm gonna let you share. Go ahead. I want to. Go ahead. Share, Zion. What was it? Right. Good job, Zion. Come over here and share that again, and explain to them what you're referencing as you say that to help the family.
So we're watching the Harriet Tubman movie, and Harriet Tubman was trying to find what's his name?
She was being directed to find a certain individual,
and he saw a picture of him, and he said, "Here, this is his likeness."
Mm-hmm.
And he just broke the commandment right there.
He just broke the commandment.
And you're talking about an angel.
So check this out. Angel means he could have been messenger, or Most High sent to help her. I'm not saying, because guess what? They come in different shades.
I'm not saying that.
All right, just keep that in mind. But listen, even then, Herod was saying Lord and Jesus and all that. The Most High was winking his eye then. He ain't winking no more. Bottom line, family, this commandment right here will help us a lot. He done addressed in here so far how that you're commanded to perform. So he's got 2 strong rebukes in this chapter alone that rebukes the doctrine and the whole understanding and the foundation of Christianity. 1, you must perform this. Faith without works is dead. Secondly, thou shalt have no graven images concerning him. So all these buildings and even these people with these nativities in their yard, that's graven. None of those are correct. First of all, he wasn't born in this month. Tammuz was born in this month. That's who was born in this month. So, of course, Tammuz and an activity is of a little white family with a little white baby. That makes all the sense because they like the cold anyway. But Yeshua was not born in the winter. Neither was he born on the 25th of December. Neither does the Father want, nor tolerate, or approve, or wink the eye at graven images of male or female, and most certainly not of him.
Yeah, wasn't I just saying that?
Yes, I'm just clarifying in an adult way, son. Mm-hmm. So if I were y'all, I'd highlight that. I highlighted it in mine. I'm just giving you that time. Let me read that again. Lest ye corrupt yourselves. What did he say in the last day? That men shall be lovers of themselves, right? Knowledge should increase. So what is the main thing that people do in these times? Lady wants to get on the bed with Zero. What's it all about?
What's the
Let me tell you something else. The main reason why is because our Father is spirit. There's no similitude to him. So his children ought to be spirit. Those that come unto him must come unto him in spirit and in truth, right? So if we're spirit, should we be grasping, trying to hold on to, or even admiring images? AKA photos. If you go on your camera and take a picture, you go to the top, it will be titled images. And the camera is what graves them. The camera captures them and stores them. But before, they were painters who drew them. That's against the commandments. Mm-hmm. Can't do that. All right. We are in spirit. So we are conformed to him, and we are to abhor the likeness of ourselves. And to the point where not like, but it's in a mature mindset of, this is not me. I am him, and I am in him, and he is in me, and he's spirit. So I don't need to be concerning myself with pictures. Moving along. Verse 17, the likeness of any beast that is, here we go. So not only male or female, but any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that fly up on the air. So we can't even have pictures of lions. You understand what happens when you start to read the word and really like, I mean, we just in Deuteronomy 4. And we really, through the Spirit of the Most High, read this, moving our understanding aside, like get out of here. Move, like if you do that, do yourself this favor. When I rebuke you, compromise. I rebuke you, leading to own understanding. I rebuke you, flesh. Let a higher be magnified in my edification and in the reading of the word. And the name of Yeshua, so be it. The likeness of anything that creepeth on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the waters beneath the earth. So we don't need no pictures. Necessary. Because what people begin to do is, he said, absorb my word. If you're busy with observing my word, you don't have time to be observing the great little picture and statue of Caesar or the little eagle that the Americans put on their flag and all this. See, this is what the Gentiles do. See, the Gentiles need statues and all this kind of stuff that takes food but eat not. That's what they do. They bow down to statues and stuff. Like we read earlier on, verse 8. And what nations? They're so great. There's no great nation. They call themselves that great nation, America, whatever. But they're nothing great about them because they're not righteous. First of all, they're not right. They're profane. I was explaining to my brother the other day. He got immersed. I said to him, look at the sign when we was in the U-Haul place. I said, you see that sign that says freedom? Let freedom reign. I said, what it's saying is, let Edom be free to reign with the bird above it. Obadiah, though you exalt yourself as the eagle, I will bring you down. He said, don't do that. He said, no winged birds, no winged fowl. You see how these nations break the commandments day and night with no winking eye? So what do they preserve for, family? Death, without hesitation. Moving along. Unless thou lift up, see, this is the reason why. See, let me tell you something. Judgments, or no, statutes, which is the order of his word, always come with the judgments to explain to you. See, don't do this, lest you do boom bow. Let's go to 18. No, verse 19. Unless thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even the host of heaven, shouldst be driven but to worship them and serve them, which Ahiah thy husbandman have divided unto all nations under the whole heaven. But Ahiah have taken you and brought you forth out of the iron furnace, even out of Egypt, to be unto him a people of inheritance, as ye are this day. His people, we are his inheritance. Just like Queen Elizabeth is over the Social Security and the presidents are the ones in recognition of the birth certificates. That's what they call, like us dead is the dead. Oh, now we rebuke buffering in the name of Yeshua. So be it. Furthermore, Ahiah was angry with me for your sakes, Moses speaking, the prophet, and swear that I should not go over Jordan, and that I should not go into that good land, which Ahiah, thy husbandman, had given thee for an inheritance. So, boom, here goes maturity, understanding, headship. Moses was who the Most High basically said, I'm going to allow you to be the possessor of my frustration concerning these people. It may not seem fair. Like he told Ezekiel, lay on your one side for these men of times, for the iniquity of the northern kingdom, and the other side for the southern. This is why I never understood why in Christian churches they're promoted and they're esteeming to be prophets like this is a decorative thing that you want to do. Like this is like this is trending or something. Woe unto them. We call those prophets of Baal. Messengers of Baal, messengers of God. But I must die in this land. I must not go over Jordan, but ye shall go over and possess that good land. Take heed unto yourselves, lest ye forget the covenant of Ahiah, your husbandman, which he made with you, and make you a graven image. The first thing he said, take heed to yourselves, lest you make you a graven image. Let me tell you something. You may feel like, well, I don't believe it, the camera, because we not bound down to that. Let me tell you something. Go through your house and get rid of every picture and see if it ain't hard. If your heart be like, it's idolatry. It's an altar set up in your heart. You have already, I'm telling you, you don't necessarily have to be like doing like this to worship something. Anything that's above the Most High, it's considered worship. Anything you esteem and admire more than Him and His word, it's worship. He's quite simple. It's not nothing to rocket science. It's for us to clearly see that it ain't. It's like people like. Then what happens too also in this wicked nation and land of the dead? If you have a picture lying around, suppose somebody want to curse you. They use these images for the kingdom of the wicked. Uses your disobedience to the Most High's laws for their advantage. That's their power. If He says that it shall be, look here, verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and not understanding in the sight of the nations. So if you're not keen on doing them, then you are ignorant and you're lacking understanding in the midst of them, which means, oh, good, we can get this one. You're dumb, you're naive, or you're a fool. See, that's why they called us niggers. They took advantage of our Psalm 83 in us, of Psalm 83 in us. In other words, let us wipe them out for being a nation. Then when they don't know who they are, let us take advantage of that. They'll always be at the bottom at that point. But for it is written that He shall call His people again unto Him. It shall come to mind. And it's something they can control. Look around the earth. If y'all haven't subscribed to Chave Weather yet, where's my phone? Is that what I got? If y'all haven't subscribed to Chave Weather YouTube channel, give you the daily uploads of what the John Brown's going on. I'm talking about as high as this house.
Mom,
in some places.
It's like two places in one day.
Mm-hmm. Some people get earthquakes and locust plagues.
In just one day.
In one day. Mm-hmm. That's right, son.
Yeah, he doesn't do it in like 1 hour to make it obvious.
Right. Just scattering all out. For a high thy husbandman is a consuming fire, even a jealous husband. In other words, he ain't having that. You're not going to come into him or come onto him or be amongst him acting like a heathen. And keep that in mind. He's a consuming fire, which means if it's not right, he's going to consume it. I don't want that burn. If I'm pleased, I'll take it in pleasure. It'll be in the fire, but it won't be consumed like the three young men of the Most High, the three upright young men. Well, in the fire. And who showed up with them? Yeshua. That's right. Yeshua in the form of the Son. Right there. It was 3, then it was 4. So when you're in your fire, do to following that which is right. Are you alone?
That was fine.
Well, not really, son. When we're in the midst of a nation amongst these dog devil people, are we alone? Mm-mm. We're starting to see consequences for their filthy little actions towards us quickly now, aren't we? His earthly likeness. Here he goes prophesying. We rebuke you, Buffer, in the name of Yeshua. We speak a stable connection, so be it. So here goes Moses prophesying to them. The Deuteronomy 28. Y'all write this right now underneath your Bible. Deuteronomy 4 is the warning of Deuteronomy 28. The warning. The foreknowledge. Okay. He said, I ain't going in this land with y'all. He thought it was like, oh, they gonna get the possessing land. No, I was like, no. I'm gonna let you bear like Yeshua. But that didn't mean Moses was condemned. Okay. Hebrews, the book 11 tells us that. Known as Hebrews, but it's the book of the upright. He says here, let's read it again, verse 25. When you start to begot children, he said, okay, let's count that generation. 1, 2, 3. That's 3 generations. He said, about your 3rd generation, right? And ye shall have remained long in the land and shall corrupt yourselves. By the time that 3rd generation come from Moses in the land, check this out. He said, and make yourselves graven images or the likeness of anything, and shall do evil in the sight of Ahiah, thy husbandman, to provoke him to anger. I call heaven and earth to witness against you this day, that ye shall soon utterly perish from off the land whereunto ye go over the Jordan to possess it. Ye shall not prolong your days upon it, but shall utterly be destroyed. Deuteronomy 28. There it goes.
Deuteronomy 28.
Mm-hmm. And the highest shall scatter you among the nations, and there it goes. And ye shall be left few in number among the heathen. Whether a highest shall lead you, he led us that way. Even if it's chastisement, he good. Because where he isn't at, I don't want to be. And he chastises those he loves. All right. And there shall ye serve gods, the work of men's hands. So before we get to the camera capture, because now in this generation, men's hands form the cameras. So it's still the works of man's hands. Not just the cameras, but the doctrines and the religions and the systems, which are not based and founded on the truth of the Most High, the creator of heaven and earth. Turn that heat on, Zion. My feet getting a bit chilly. And there shall serve, and it's the orange one, baby, towards the door. That wasn't necessary. And there you shall serve the deities, gods, gods, the work of men's hands, wood and stone. Islam and Christianity. The orange button, son, on the thing. I don't got time. Which neither see nor hear, nor eat nor smell. That white Jesus he ain't real. Neither is the Mecca stone and those who minister concerning them. But if from thence thou shalt seek Ahiah, thy husbandman, thou shalt find him if thou shalt seek him with all thy heart and with all thy soul. But if from thence, listen here, let's read it. Let's highlight that. But from the place he driven you, you shall seek Ahiah, your husbandman. You shall find him. You got to seek him, right? If thou shalt seek him with all your heart and with all your soul, when thou art in tribulation and these things are come upon thee, even in the latter days, if thou turn to Ahiah, your husbandman, and shalt be obedient to his voice, for Ahiah, your husbandman, will be merciful unto you, is a merciful husbandman. He will not forsake thee, neither destroy thee, nor forget the covenant of your fathers, which he sware unto them. Come on. So he said, I'm driving you here for you to seek me. Since you want to be in my land and pollute it by the ordinances of these nations, these heathen nations, I'm going to get you out my land. And then when you're amongst them and you realize that what you're into is not working for you, when you seek me, you will find me. Since you ain't seeking me, since you're taking me for granted. For ask now of the days that are past, which were before thee, since the day that Ahiah created man upon the earth, and ask from the other one side of heaven unto the other, whether there have been any such thing as this great thing is, or have been heard like it. Did ever people or had the husbandman essayed to go and take him a nation from the midst of another nation by temptations, by signs, and by wonders, and by war, and by mighty hand, and by stretched out arm, and by great terrors, according to all that Ahiah, I am, your husbandman, did for you in Egypt before your eyes? Unto thee it was showed that thou mightest know that Ahiah, he is a husbandman. There is none else beside him. Out of heaven he made thee to hear his voice, that he might instruct thee. And upon earth he showed thee his great fire, and thou heard his voice, his words out of the midst of the fire. Let me turn this heat on. Okay. I told you, son. And you down there on the floor too, son. You can get my...
No.
I was gonna say you gotta get a blanket or something, put it on.
Yeah.
You can get the one that's on top of the like the brown one. The one underneath. If it it's gonna unravel the bed. Just why I said get the one on top. Yeah. And then put the other one back on there.
Okay.
All right, thank you, son. All right. back to verses 36. Out of heaven he made thee to hear his voice, that he might instruct thee, and upon earth he showed thee his great fire, and thou heardest his words out of the midst of the fire. And because he loved your fathers, therefore he chose their seed. And shout out to my brother from Ahia's house on chosen and few or called. Yes, good job. Thank you for bringing my remembrance, brother Holly. Yeah, he remembered when he was watching this rising. So because he just said he chose their seed. So we are a chosen generation, a chosen nation, and within that nation there are chosen children that he called for divine purposes. Okay. All right. And after them, and brought thee out in his sight with his mighty power out of Egypt, to drive out nations from before thee, greater and mightier than thou art. So I want to get to this part and elaborate, since I titled this video Great Nation. We may not be a great nation amongst these other nations and to their acknowledgement, but to him we are. By what? Verse 6 of Deuteronomy 4. Keeping and doing his commandments, for that is our wisdom and knowledge. So it's not about ability. It's not about credentials or references. It's about your obedience to the wisdom and understanding of the Most High. And we know that the wisdom of the Most High is his commandments. And we know that the commandments, which is the word of the Most High, is his son. And his son is a physical extension of him. And there is no feminism in the Father. He has attributes that he can reach us in. That does not make the Father feminine. All right. I'm gonna read that again. So he will drive out those nations from before us that are greater, and what? Great in their wickedness, great in their ignorance, great in their unrighteousness. That's what they're grading. And mightier by physical, because they rely and all they know is war. For the blessing to Esau was the fatness of the earth. So that means he is blessed in this. Though heaven and earth may pass away, so he's great and he's blessed in the perishables. This is why he's angry. Mightier than thou art to bring thee in. He said, I'm going to drive them away to bring you in unto me. Just like when you was watching, when we was all the Coming to America. And when the dancers came in the room, the people was like all the way on the sides, here and there. So they came in, you know what I'm saying? Well, he basically let it know, I'm cleaning up. This is why when you see on the Chabe Weather Channel, you see these nations being destroyed drastically by weather. It's because the Most High is driving them out. That's why. And when people say let's flee, I don't know if that's a good idea right about now. It's really not. Will gather us. The angels will gather us on the highest. Thank you, son. All right. Verse 39. Know therefore this day. He says, read it 2 times. Know therefore this day. Know therefore this day, and consider it in thine heart, that Ahia, he is a husbandman, a keeper, a provider, in heaven above and upon the earth beneath. There is none else. Thou shalt keep therefore his statutes and his commandments, which I command thee this day, that it may go well with thee and with thy children. In other words, you don't mind on. Though I'm being taken care of, provided by through the service because my husband working with it, they're not really my source. My Father uses them, just like he put Esther up and he also put Joseph up and he also put Moses in the house. They still were in positions for his will. They're not my help. They're not my reliance, my reliability. I know from whence come my help. Psalm 121. All right. Then Moses served 3 cities on this side, Jordan, toward the sun rising. Severed. I said serve, excuse me, severed. Thank you, Father. That the slayer might flee thither, which should kill his neighbor unawares, and hated him not in times past, and that fleeing unto one of these cities he might live. Okay. So that's the cities of refuge for the manslaughter sin. Okay. Suppose you were in a fight, or you gave somebody something that was not good. Might have gave them some meat that was probably bad, or something happened, they got sick, or whatever the case may be. And someone was death came about because of your negligence, which means killed his neighbor unawares, negligence. Okay. Or malpractice, even whatever, even if a woman be giving birth or something like that. They have a place of refuge, because even though you did it unawares, people ain't trying to hear that. People in grief are in grief, and they only want to do some things to you. All right. He knows how his children are. You know how he is. Namely, Bezer in the wilderness, and the plain country of the Reubenites, and Ramoth and Gilead, of the Gadites, and Golan and Bashan of the Manassites. And this is the Torah law which Moses set before the children of Jacob. These are the testimonies and the statutes and the judgments which Moses spake unto the children of Jacob after they came forth out of Egypt. On this side, Jordan in the valley over against Beth Peor, in the land of Shion, king of the Amorites, who dwelt in Heshbon, whom Moses and the children of Jacob smote. Who smote them? Moses and the children of Jacob, after they were come forth out of Egypt. And they possessed his land and the land of Og, king of Bashan, 2 kings of the Amorites, which were on this side of Jordan toward the sun rising, from Aor, which is by the bank of the river Arnon, even unto the Mount Sion, which is Hermon. And all the plain on this side, Jordan eastward, even unto the sea of the plain under the sunrise of Pesach. Let's get it. Deuteronomy 5. And Moses called all Jacob and said unto them, Hear, O Jacob, the statutes and judgments which I speak in your ears this day, that ye may learn them and keep them and do them. Ahijah your husbandman made a covenant in Horeb. Ahijah made not this covenant with our fathers, but with us, even us alone, who are all here alive this day. I have talked with you face to face out of the mount, in the mount out of the midst of the fire. I stood between Ahijah and you at that time to show you the word of Ahijah, for ye were afraid by reason of the fire, and went not up into the mount, saying, I am Ahijah, I am that I am, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or anything in the earth beneath, or as in the waters beneath the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself unto them, nor serve them. For I, Ahijah, Asher, your husbandman, am a jealous husband, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the 3rd and 4th generation of them hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Ahijah thy husbandman in vain, for Ahijah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Keep the Sabbath day to sanctify it, as Ahijah thy husbandman hath commanded thee. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of Ahijah thy husbandman. In it thou shalt not do any work, nor you, your son, your daughter, your manservant, your maidservant, your ox, your ass, your cattle, your stranger that's within your gates, that is the manservant and your maidservant that they may rest as well as you. And remember that you was a servant in the land of Egypt, and that Ahijah, thy husbandman, brought thee out thence through a mighty hand and by a stretched out arm. Therefore, Ahijah, thy husbandman, commanded thee to keep the Sabbath day. Honor your father and your mother, as Ahijah, your husbandman, have commanded thee, that thy days may be prolonged, and that it may go well with you in the land which Ahijah, thy husbandman, giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, physically or spiritually or verbally. Neither shalt thou commit adultery, physically, mentally, spiritually, or verbally, by mouth. Neither shalt thou steal, mentally, physically, spiritually, or verbally. Neither shalt thou bear false witness against thy neighbor, mentally, physically, verbally, or spiritually. Neither shalt thou desire thy neighbor's wife, covet. Do not desire things that don't belong to us. These words are their ass or any, like I said, anything that belongs to somebody else, even their gifts, their purpose, their destiny. I read that. Verse 22. These words Ahiah spake unto all your assembly in the mount out of the midst of the fire, of the cloud, and of the thick darkness with a great voice. And he added no more. And he wrote them in 2 tables of stone and delivered them unto me. Wow. He wrote them. Can you imagine that? Stop right there. We've heard this several times, but let's chew on this. Moses sat there and see Yeshua with his finger, writing the word. As his finger it was fire probably going on that stone. You know, when you see somebody cut stone and it sparks going off, that's what I'm imagining. Beautiful. From his finger, absolutely. The work of Ahiah is beautiful. He was finger tablet touching before they brought iPhones and tablets. Come on. I love him. All right. And deliver them unto me. Verse 23. And it came to pass when he heard the voice out of the midst of the fire of the darkness, for the mountain did burn with fire.
Stop!
Why are you agitating him? Peace be still. Zion. Go back to where you were. Go back to where you were. Be obedient. Honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long upon the earth. All right. Thank you. For the mountain did burn with fire, that ye came near unto me, even all the heads of your tribes and your elders. And he said, and you said, behold, Ahiah, our husbandman, has showed us his glory and his greatness, and we have heard his voice out of the midst of the fire. We have seen this day that Ahiah, our husbandman, doeth talk with man, and he liveth. Now, therefore, why should we die? For this great fire will consume us. This is the same thing that when we read over there in Judges 13, when Manoah was like, oh, now we finna die because we just saw this angel. And the wife was like, no, he just told us all this great stuff. There's 2 kind of fears. There's a fear of reverence and honor and recognition. And there's a fear of doubt and torment. Be advised and be aware of the fear of torment. It literally handicaps us. It makes us crippled and disabled. For who is there of all flesh that had heard the voice of the living husbandman speaking out of the midst of the fire, as we have and lived? I rebuke disturbances in the system right now and any unstable connections through the name of Yeshua. We are stable, and yes, thank you, Father. We are stable. Thank you, Musa Ahiah, for stable connection. For who is there of all flesh that have heard the voice of the living husbandman speaking out of the midst of the fire, as we have and lived? We are. You remember that, family. Treasure, observe, and just eat and bask in this lovely day of rest. Ahiah has provided this day for us. Is there anything you want to share something before we go?
I want to pray out the Shabbat.
You want to pray out the Shabbat with them? Okay, so be it. So he wants to pray out the Sabbath with you guys. All praise. So our east, I got my little compass, is this way towards the bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh, bless.
Wait.
It's different for them because they're looking at it.
Yeah.
All right, come on, Zebediah. Stand up, face the east. See?
Jibble, huddle, golden, double.
Oh, let her rest. Oh, my back.
Okay. Thank you for this.
Speak up a little bit more.
Okay.
Ahiah, for opportunities to still have the fruit of the Spirit in the midst of testing, trials, and positioning for your glory. Because that you go before us and you've been with us all this time. We thank you for this rest. We look forward to this rest, and we pray for everyone else amongst our nation for their great rest, Father. We pray that the needs of your people will be able, in our minds, be able to rest on this day. That we will mentally rest from the concerns and cares of this world. That we will emotionally turn ourselves over to you and allow you to let your spirit minister to us. And we thank you for restoration. We thank you for peace and fruits of the spirit of patience, temperance, and meekness. We thank you, Father, we are overcomers, that no weapon formed against us was able to prosper, nor shall it be able to prosper. And we bind and rebuke sickness and disease and any chains of poverty. For we are blessed in the city, blessed in the field, blessed coming in, blessed going out. We are blessed. And in the mighty name of Yeshua, our Savior, we pray and declare these things, and we thank you, Father. So be it. It is done. That's right. We don't have our little chauffeur. It's packed up in the storage, but I'm going to go ahead and just go.
Let me do it.
Thank
Like
you.
at the end, it goes like, when you know, let it stop, it goes like
Yeah. Thank you.
you.
No. You can't do no pleasure on this day. You can't, especially work out. Once sundown is down, you can.
Yeah.
All right. All right, family. I thank you all for tuning in. I pray y'all was edified. I pray this word brings forth its fruit. Oh, now you were.
Now I had the prayer moment.
Oh, you was in prayer? She was up for the prayer with us. Grand Rise, Ahia's house. Hey, brother Holly. His brother Holly. Say shalom to brother Holly. Yep, he's on there.
Shalom.
Greetings and salutations to you, brother. Peace and blessing. Here's Zebediah. Say hi, brother Holly. Yes, brother. We really appreciate your lessons and everything and the work
It's
that
a
Holly's doing.
heart. I like a blue heart.
Yeah, that's because he's a moderator. He helps mommy on her channel. Yep, y'all. I'm just grateful, family. We really are. For this peace, and it's like a little that the righteous have is better than much with the wicked, and so we're grateful for this little rest and peace and little solitude we got. And the man even told me, he said, "Man, you have any question or anything, just let me know, y'all." So we are good, and we just thank Ahia. And all things are working together for the good of those who love him and are called according to the purpose. Always remember that, Romans 8:28. And also the eviction was stopped. So we thank him for that. Because technically we had this month to stay there, but I wanted to be out before that. Because I'd rather have my last month rather than give it to them. So, and Ahia said he was going to accelerate this thing. And look what he did, y'all.
Sorry.
Made it out because my grace period was to the 5th. I know, they know I have to keep the Sabbath day. So I said, I'm going to be out before the 5th. And look what the Most High did. Come on, y'all. He won't do it. Yes. Peace be to you. Oh, that's right. Hi from us in Florida. Oh, y'all in Florida. I lived in Florida, in Jacksonville, Florida for 8 years.
Really?
Before we moved here to this state from Florida, my mother was in hotels and going through situations like that because of some situations. But
Wait, what year?
I don't remember. Let's get into our conversations. I ain't gonna do that too much. But yeah, I love y'all family so very much. Your legs are exposed, Ziva. So I pray y'all have a wonderful Sabbath. I pray that y'all was edified. Always remember Psalm 39:16.
It's been an hour?
Wow, right by the beach. Come on in, Lifty. I know that's December will be a little cold out there in Florida, but praise the Father for that. I don't have much sightseeing, but we put on at night, we put on our little ocean sounds, and it sound like we by the beach, okay? Sound like we by the beach. You can't pick me up, Zion.
That's okay.
No, you can't.
Put me on your head.
No. All right, well, I'm going to let y'all go. Brother, are you going to be coming back and do another lesson? Because I know you normally do like 2 on a set apart day, right?
When we're at the gym.
Zion, you're not going to the gym till the sun's down.
It is.
No, it's cloudy. Sun's not down.
Yeah, it's not that down. When it gets down, we can.
Brother, are you going to be coming back for another lesson?
He
Where my
will.
drink
He
at?
will.
You will by faith. He said, but I said you will.
For faith.
Mm-hmm.
For faith.
Come on,
Like,
Zebediah. You better call them things that be not as though they were. Come on.
Just.
He said, all praises, I just posted. I said, oh, okay. He just did. All right. All praise. So we about to go check it out. So when I edit this, you can watch ours while we're watching yours, brother. Look at that. Come on. Come on. And the things that we do for the Most High, the labor that we do for the Most High is his service is not the labor he tells us we forbid on this day. You know what I'm saying? For we labor for the meat that didn't perish. All right. All right. Love y'all, family. Show me your nice little shirt. See a little shirt, a little Judah shirt. This thing been us for some years.
My shirt.
Yeah, shows everything. You show your little shirt. My shirt, so cute.
Oh, so cute.
I love it. Can you just before we leave, can I pray us out with the Psalm 23, please, for the family? Come on, please. I love how he does it. 23. Come on. Our eyes our shepherd. You lead me in. Come on. Say it. Come on. Okay, shine on. The guy down. And green pathos.
He says still water.
He says still water.
Green pastures.
Green pastures.
It says still water. And so be it.
And restore our soul.
No. So be it.
Say surely goodness and mercy. I love how he says goodness and mercy. Come on, say before I end the thing, Zebediah. Say goodness and mercy.
Goodness and mercy.
Follow us all the days of our life. He being bashful. All right, I love y'all, family. That's right. I sure will, bro. I ain't got nothing else, no other options. No, hey, get back in here, barefoot out there. What you doing? Let's go. All right, family. I gotta go because they trying to take advantage. All right, love y'all. Peace and blessings to you all. Happy set apart rest.
Stop being cute.